This is the fictional Mindbender. While I have largely enjoyed Season 3 of The Mandalorian, one ongoing thread that has been continually annoying me is the canon portrayal of the New Republic as being even more pointless and flawed than the Old Republic. Seriously, if I had to compare which of these eras was the most stable, pre-Clone War era, the Clone War era, the Empire, or the New Republic, it would honestly be the Empire. Now, feel free to call this a rant, but I fail to see how the ideals and caution that went into forming the rebellion, as shown in Andor, the original trilogy, and Rebels, and the sacrifices and daring actions made during that war, resulted in such an incompetent and impotent status quo. Seriously, this New Republic has no balls. That being said, don't get it twisted. I'm not miffed at the idea of a failed New Republic, because it's been done before in the expanded universe. In those long series of novels and games, the New Republic after the war still has its problems just as the canon version does, with ongoing small conflicts continuing through the years after the rebellion officially ended after the fall of Coruscant. And yes, it has its share of corrupt politicians and stagnant politics as well. And this ultimately does result in the downfall of the New Republic during the Yuzon Vong War. If you're not familiar with the expanded universe, the Yuzon Vong War is a conflict that takes place some decades after the formation of the New Republic that eventually results in its downfall before the Yuzon Vong are defeated. Now, that being said, the progression to this particular version of the downfall takes much longer, with periods in between the founding and the fall where things were relatively stable. Issues like the reintegration of former Imperials and their ships/technology do occur in both versions as well, though in the expanded universe version, the New Republic is much more open to using Imperial ships than the canon version currently is. So ultimately, my issue, I guess, is the immediacy in which this impotence of the New Republic occurs in the Disney version. Many of the same plot points are the same. It's just that Disney has it happen much, much faster, in my opinion. For me, it's unbelievably faster, in fact, because there's been little to no mention thus far of any improvements made or why these mistakes are happening again. In a way, I suppose I can quote-unquote blame Andor in the sense that it establishes so well the intricacies and the sacrifices and the effort made into putting together the rebellion, and presumably these people would still be alive. Mon Mothma sure is alive. How could they be making these same mistakes relatively so soon? Perhaps it's the writers feeling pressure to match the shows with the sequel trilogies, making a connecting thread between all of them, cramming in these factors into the other currently existing stories to make these larger points. But I honestly don't really know. That being said, the New Republic angle of the Mandalorian universe is largely one I'm choosing to just basically shut out. It just doesn't track for me, and seems unrelated to the Mandalorian and his struggle and his people pretty much. But maybe that will change, who's to say? And if any of you guys happen to enjoy that particular part of it, because I know a lot of people do, and I've seen a lot of YouTubers mention how they do like that side of the story so far, I am happy for you, honestly. And please continue to watch it and do so. But otherwise, we'll see what happens for me. You guys have a good day. This is the Fictional Mindbender.